In junior high was when I first started to learn Spanish. I was so excited about learning another language that I went home and I told my mom that I wanted to be a linguist and learn as many languages as I could. However, as the years went on and the language started getting harder and harder to learn, everyone started dropping off like flies, including me. And even after high school, I stopped learning languages altogether and started forgetting everything I had learned. And I was one day called to a Spanish-speaking mission where I was finally able to become fluent in Spanish. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I had to have that push, to have that extra help in learning a second language. And I'm grateful to say that today I am fluent. However, I still ask myself every now and then, what would have happened if I had started learning Spanish at a younger age? What would have happened if I had started learning in elementary school? My family all through high school took in exchange students from other countries, usually Germany, and I had the same question for them every single time. I was so impressed that they spoke English so well, and so I would ask them when they started studying English, and I got a similar answer from all of them. They started studying around 3rd grade, when they were around 10 years old. And I started studying a little bit about what countries are required to learn English at a young age. And I found this. So this is a chart of the countries of Europe. And as you can see, some are colored yellow and some are colored green. The ones that are colored yellow are countries where they require elementary school children to learn a second language, and the green countries even require their students to learn a third language. And as you can see, a good majority of Europe, plus 20 other countries besides this map, are required to learn a second language in school. And another thing that really surprised me were the ages. When I found this chart, I was surprised to see that most countries that require their students to learn a second language require them to learn it between the ages of 6 and 9. And even Belgium, over here, requires their students to start learning a second language by the age of 3. So these 3-year-olds who are starting to learn their own first language are also learning a second along with it. And so they're learning them both together at the same time. Here in the U.S., I don't think our schools place that much of an importance on learning a second language. And as this survey says, only 25% of American adults self-report speaking a language other than English, according to the 2006 General Social Survey. Of those who know a second language, 43% said they can speak the language very well. And of all of the people who speak another language, 89% acquired these skills in the childhood home, as in their parents already spoke that language and taught it to them in the home, compared with 7% citing school as their main setting for language acquisition. So only 7% of all of the people in the United States who speak a second language learned it in school. Only 7%. And to be honest, in my opinion, I feel that this number needs to be heightened. I feel like schools need to take a more important role in teaching second languages to these students. And here's why. It can help with finding jobs, with understanding grammar, and with traveling. And my reason number 1 is the child's mind. I have a quote here by Penn State saying, according to an article by Penn State, for a child, learning a language is part of their brain chemistry. They are literally built to absorb information. They do this in an unconscious state of mind. They're learning and they don't even know it. So first of all, the child's mind is very moldable. They can learn very quickly, and starting to teach them at that younger age will really help. And this goes also with reason number 2, which is understanding grammar. And I know from experience that learning a second language helps you to understand the grammar of the first better. When I was in the MTC, I started really understanding noun clauses and adjective clauses, not only in Spanish, but in English as well. I started making those connections between the two languages, which helped me to overall understand grammar a whole lot more. My next reason is in finding jobs. So A recent survey found that nearly 9 out of 10 headhunters in Europe, Latin America, and Asia say that being at least bilingual is critical for success in today's business environment. And 66% of North American recruiters agreed that being bilingual will be increasingly important in the next 10 years. So this importance, or this, the importance will increase drastically, and so being bilingual will become something very important. And not only does it help with finding a job, but it helps with getting pay raises. Research from Rosetta Stone found that people who speak at least one foreign language have an average annual household income that's $10,000 higher than the household income of those who only speak English. And 17% of those who speak at least one foreign language earn more than $100,000 a year. So this really greatly increases a person's likelihood of becoming a successful business person. My next reason is travel. When I traveled to Europe and I wasn't able to speak German, I wasn't able to speak Italian, I felt very lost. And I was able to enjoy my experience, but I feel like being able to speak that language would have helped me to immerse myself in that culture. It helps with that enjoyment of travel. When I was in Argentina, I felt like I was part of that country. I felt so excited every time I was able to communicate well with somebody who lived there. Not only traveling outside of the U.S., but my next reason is socializing here in the U.S. We are a melting pot here. There are people from Europe, from Asia, from South America, from Africa that speak a great number of different languages. And when we are able to speak those languages, we can really connect with those who are here in the U.S. with us. And my last reason is a feeling of accomplishment. I know from experience that I really feel accomplished every time that I complete something. In learning that language, I have felt very accomplished and really excited to say that I speak Spanish. So these were my reasons why. There are plenty of other reasons why I think it's important for kids at a young age to start learning another language. Parents, provide your children with those opportunities. And adults, if you don't know a second language, I encourage you to start learning another language so that you too can receive those benefits. And I know that becoming bilingual, learning a second language will really help. And good luck to you all. Thank you.